Hey, my name's Jordan, and here's some movies I've seen recently. King of Staten Island. Pete Davidson is personally one of my favorite members of Saturday Night Live, and I was actually really looking forward to his movie. Pete mentioned that 75% of this movie was autobiographical, and it makes sense, since Pete's character, Scott, seems exactly like Pete Davidson we know. Just less jokes. The movie was fine. It was more of a tame and serious than what I've hoped. My main criticism is that the movie it's not tight. It's not clean. Many scenes could have been left out and I wouldn't have noticed. It felt more like Davidson just sat down and told me his life story. Which is fine, it just doesn't make the best movie. Rating, not worth seeing unless you're a fan of Pete Davidson. The Old Guard, a Netflix movie, so expectations are already low. But I was impressed. I think the concept was handled well, and the action, which is the main draw, was a lot more enjoyable because of the central theme, gimmick, whatever you want to call it, that the characters cannot die. It allows for fights to happen in a more different style than a typical action movie. However, they probably could have focused on that more. One thing really apparent is that they're really setting up for a sequel in the movie. And I don't say this often, but this movie probably would have been better if it was a series. Rating, good-ish. You should see if you just want something to have on. Being John Malkovich. The movie is completely absurd in a good way. The entire movie seems like a fever dream and is truly one of a kind. Somehow, though, the writing, directing, and acting are full of nuance and plays through this batshit insane movie. Once Being John Malkovich really kicks in, occasionally I could just not stop laughing just at the insanity of the plot. Rating? Loved it. Worth seeing, but I can understand if it's too much for some people. Irresistible. Written and directed by Jon Stewart and starring Steve Carell. This, on paper, seems like something I would love. However, it just underperformed. I really expected more comedy, passion, just more of everything, really. The movie underperformed on all counts, at least a little bit. It makes more sense with Jon Stewart being so ingrained in late night in the past decade or so. It felt like the movie was trying to spread a message instead of just being a good movie. Don't get me wrong, the message is still a worthwhile one, and the movie is a good reminder for this political climate. But when judging the movie and not the message, it's a disappointment. Rating, it's not worth seeing. Unless maybe you talk about politics online, maybe you should see it then. The Death of Stalin. Somehow, no one seems to have watched this movie, which is a real shame, because I think it's one of the best dark comedies out there, hands down. Most of the comedy comes from the frankness of the Soviet Union, and more so the power grab after the death of Stalin. Not only does this movie have great comedy, but also sucks you into the tension of the power struggle. This movie very well combines comedy and drama. There's still a focus on comedy. Also, Steve Buscemi gives a great performance in this. I love that guy. Rating, really loved it. I want more people to see this movie, and I think you would like it if you like other shows like House of Cards or the first 5 seasons of Game of Thrones, but want to watch a comedy. Vice. After watching Irresistible and The Death of Stalin, I decided to continue with the political theme and go for Vice, the story of Dick Cheney, the VP during Bush Jr. I was not active in politics then, and really did not know much about Dick before this movie. Normally, I am not a fan of biopics. I just feel like the person's life does not follow the traditional 3-act structure that many biopics try to force. However, the biopic was very much captivating. Maybe because it felt more like a documentary instead of other biopics. Despite me saying that, it does not feel like a documentary while watching it. I'm not sure how true this story is, but while watching it, I totally believed it. Rating? Good. Worth seeing, but if you don't like documentaries, you might not like this. Shutter Island. Directed by Martin Scorsese and starring Leonardo DiCaprio and many other stars, is one of those movies where I feel like I would give away the movie if I talk about the plot. It is an intense thriller with amazing performances. This is also a movie where Martin Scorsese really shines as a director. There are many details and motifs packed into this movie, where it seems like it was at the decision of Martin and not so much the screenwriter. And the ending is a little bit predictable, but it's still captivating nonetheless. Rating? Pretty good. Worth seeing. I think there's something in this movie for everyone. Hunt for the Wilderpeople. directed by Taika Waititi. Waititi is one of those directors in recent years that really shines, and it has a unique style and ambition that is respectable. His originality makes me hope that more directors with unique styles come up in popularity. Hunt for the Wilderpeople is a comedy that is, at times, a lighthearted adventure and coming-to-age story. However, it does have some darkness in it, but you'll come out of it feeling happy. With the runtime being 1 hour and 41 minutes, it seems like a good movie to watch with your 13 and up family. Rating? Mostly good. Worth seeing, but you might want to check this website out if it matters to you. Hamilton. There really is not much to say about this. I did theater when I was younger, but not musicals. I thought maybe if I watched it, I'll understand why everyone loves it, but if you don't already love Hamilton, then there is no reason for you to see this. Those are most of the movies I've seen recently. Let me know if I should check anything else. Thanks for watching.